Coming up next, folks, it's the PrimeTime Live edition on Friday, April 3rd, 2020. WrestleMania is upon us. Reaction is upon us. Smackdown is upon us. We've got a final look at WrestleManias coming up Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We've got hot news with all kinds of great things to talk about. Al Snow joins us as well.
Al Snow.
In a loaded edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, where the associates are with us, including a brand new associate debuting here tonight. All that live right now, right here on Fight TV. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time Live. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David the Octavius, the Tiberius, the alleged backyard, one-time knockout, straight edge, hardcore Hall of Famer. Our third live show of the week, our fifth live show of the week. How the heck are you here on this Friday, David?
Fantastic. We survived another quarantine week.
We did.
We did.
How many more are there to come? That is the question.
9.
9? All right. That's German for no, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
It's going to be one of the two.
Pinky and the Brain skit where the shuttle was taking off and his brain said to Pinky, I want you to just say yes or no, but in German.
I've never watched Pinky and the
Yeah,
Brain.
9, blah, 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 blah. You haven't? That explains a lot about you, folks. We are live. Thank you for joining us here on Fight TV, where you can also watch WrestleMania on Saturday and on Sunday. And you are also watching us all across our social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We are all over the world, and we thank you for joining us wherever you may be joining us, and we want to see your comments. The comments you place under the YouTube video, on the Facebook page, on Twitter, all show up automatically here in our studio, and we can bring those questions and those comments live into the broadcast. And you know, not only will hear from us as it pertains to what those things are, but you'll also hear to our amazing team, hear from our amazing team of analysts all over the United States. Of course, joining us, Andrew Baydala from Minneapolis, Minnesota, celebrating WrestleMania San Jose, it looks like today. And then we've got Josh Chernoff as well. Josh of the So Says Chernoff podcast, but also, not podcast, show on Fight TV, but you also have a tremendous podcast that we all need to hear about.
Oh, thank you. I'll tell you about it right now. It's called Mind of the Meanie. And it stars the Blue Meanie, the ECW original and legend, former WWE superstar, the Blue Meanie. We take a trip into the mind of the Meanie every Monday at 6. You can get it anywhere where you get your podcasts, and go subscribe now. We're on social media at Mind of the Meanie. Thank you for queuing that up for me.
Awesome. And also joining us here for the first time tonight on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Live, please welcome our newest analyst joining the team, Marty Bell. Marty, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here with you guys tonight.
We're excited to have you, and let's introduce you to the audience. Tell us and tell the world where you come from, and what you do here.
My name is Marty Bell, as you mentioned. I am a professional wrestler, actress, backstage correspondent. Whatever you need, I will probably try and do it. I'm originally from New York. I am Dominican, and you guys may recognize me from my time at Impact Wrestling as a TNA Knockout. I was a part of the first Mae Young Classic, representing the Dominican Republic. And now I am on NWA Power, where you can watch us every Tuesday night on youtube.com /NWA at 6:05.
Awesome. Marty Bell traveled all over the world with so many wrestling organizations. We are definitely looking forward to hearing your perspective, especially from an in-ring perspective, of all the topics we're going to be discussing here on Primetime. David, is there a better team in wrestling coverage?
Not at all. And let me tell you something about Marty. She will definitely keep you in check. She will.
She play checkers?
No. Trust me. She is one hell of a competitor, and I would not like your chances.
Well, folks, on a week where we also welcomed Jason Solomon to the broadcast team earlier this week, we are pleased to bring you differing perspectives and different perspectives of the things we are discussing. And, you know, there's a lot to discuss this week. So Let's get right down to it. David Hero, WrestleMania is this weekend. It is Saturday. It is Sunday. It is on Fight TV.
It's 24 hours away.
It is 24 hours away, absolutely. And we'll be sharing with you in just a little while the additional coverage of WrestleMania that the Pro Wrestling Report is going to be bringing you exclusively all weekend. You're going to get more prime time than you ever thought you could take prime time in a single day. And we're going to be bringing that to you. We'll give you details on that in just a moment. But before we do that, let's go to WrestleMania itself and talk about the show of shows, because it's 2 nights now, Saturday and Sunday. And the first match we're going to look at is a Firefly Funhouse match. John Cena, who didn't take a lot of convincing when challenged by Bray Wyatt, will be taking on Bray Wyatt in this Firefly Funhouse match. We've heard a lot about what this match may look like visually, but let's talk about not only that, but what it's going to include physically. And we want to hear your comments as well. Just go ahead and use that hashtag PWR Live as you see up at the top of your screen. And also comment on our socials right now, and we'll include your comments as we go around the horn. But first, David Hero, this match, John Cena back in a WrestleMania matchup, not defending a championship, not going after a championship, but against another man who has had some big nights and big moments at WrestleMania, Bray Wyatt.
John Cena's not here to win titles or defend titles. He's here to help take somebody to the next level. And that's going to be the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I mean, hey, the Fiend, he did the honors for Bill Goldberg not that long ago. Kind of derailed all of his steam. The only way to get all that fire and steam and momentum back would be to beat John Cena, who basically has been Mr. WrestleMania for the last 10 years or so. And I love the Fiend's chances of getting finally that big victory that he has yet to have yet.
That is true, including stepping in the ring with legends at WrestleMania. But this Firefly Funhouse match, what are they going to do with that? What does that mean? What are we going to see? Let's go around to the associates now and find out their thoughts first. Andrew, this is John Cena. It is Bray Wyatt. It is a Firefly Funhouse match. What do you think we're going to see? What do you want to see at WrestleMania this weekend?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of cinematic stuff. I don't think this is going to be your typical match. I think it's going to be something to where we saw, I believe it was Randy and Bray did like a House of Horrors match, and I think you'll probably see something to that extent. I do agree with Dave. I don't think that John Cena came back to beat Bray Wyatt. I think that Fiend character needs this win, and I think he gets it this Sunday or Saturday.
Well, let's hear from the rest of the team. Joshua Chernoff, what do you say about the Firefly Funhouse match?
I am excited for it. I agree with Drew that I think it's going to be, and I guess with David as well, I think that it's going to be more cinematic. I'm hoping that it does kind of follow that theme more of like the Hardys and the Randy Orton one that they had done before. Because I've never really been a big fan of their like halftime heat cut thing, you know, where like The Rock was underneath the forklift. Like that just takes me out of it. But I think the other stuff could be really entertaining. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of an overall theme here for WrestleMania is I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do, how they're going to present these matches. But I agree with everybody else. I think The Fiend is going to defeat John Cena.
All right, The Fiend gets the win. So says Chernoff. Marty Bell, Firefly Funhouse. What do you think we're going to see? What do you want to see in that matchup?
I think I'm going to have to agree with everybody. I do see Bray Wyatt picking up the victory here. And I think what I'm most excited to see is the entrance and what they do with this character. I think he's got such an interesting character. And like just seeing all the lights go off and all the cell phones light up, it's such a cool visual that I'm really hoping, and I'm pretty sure for WrestleMania they're going to go even bigger, even in a smaller setting like the PC is. I still think that they're going to go all out when it comes to the entrance and just the vibe and the atmosphere in total when it comes to that match.
Yeah, and they've got opportunities they wouldn't have in the stadium atmosphere with the live crowd. How will they take advantage of them? Well, I think that they have some opportunities here.
I don't think this is going to be even a match. I don't think this is going to be set up in a ring. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it's set up like in a Carnival Funhouse kind of deal.
Ooh.
That would be really fun.
You know,
that would be really fun.
If you're talking about going cinematic, why use a ring then? That's just a prop you don't need.
Well, WrestleMania went Hollywood back at 21 in 2005.
But I'm just saying, I think that and this is a way to protect John Cena by not getting pinned in a wrestling ring. he could lose in a Firefly's Funhouse match, which is Bray Wyatt's kind of match, which will have all different kinds of gimmicks. You can expect to see the puppets get involved at one point, even that big sledgehammer mallet. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we don't see a ring, and it's just a regular, like a boiler room brawl.
What do you guys
Don't
think?
you think
Change
this
of
match
venue for this
benefits
match? Go ahead,
from
Andrew.
this?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, don't you think this match benefits from the whole change of venue? Because how would they have this match regularly and protect Cena? That's my biggest question, because I think this match does everything they possibly can now that it's at the Performance Center to protect both John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
I agree.
Valid question. I guess you're right, Drew. No one said anything else. But,
Listen, I agree.
I'm guessing
I
this
agree
match
with
won't
Mark.
even be at the PC. Apparently they've had some matches that have been filmed off-site, and this you'd have to believe is one of them. I mean, look at all the different amusement theme park type gimmick places they have all around Orlando.
yeah.
I could fully expect to see one of those.
I think that would definitely make it completely stand out from Bray Wyatt already has such a character that's so different from everybody else, and it is very dramatic and very cinematic. It would be really fun to see it in like a roller coaster type setting, or just something very different, or like a tent, just like almost like very circusy. I do think that's a great idea, and hopefully it is something like that, something just a little different, because this WrestleMania is already so different from anything we've been accustomed to. So even going just a little step further, they can go all out. There are no rules. There are absolutely no rules when it comes to this WrestleMania. So that would be really fun to see.
Absolutely. Well, Firefly Funhouse match tomorrow or Sunday. I think you got the Iggy on when the matches are going to happen, David. Saturday versus Sunday.
My monitor went out.
You get Iggy's
I
on
lost
the
the
monitor?
sheet. Yeah, I do. I get those little tings, those bings, and beeps.
Next matchup,
Where do
folks,
you get your
is
Iggy's?
Seth Rollins, who arguably some could say have been Mr. WrestleMania as of late. He is going to be going one-on-one with Kevin Owens. KO Mania 4, I believe this is. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, athletically, going to be a tremendous matchup. Story-wise, I think it's been fun getting there, but what should we expect or plan to see at WrestleMania this weekend, David Hero?
This is a match I could see on Monday Night Raw.
You probably did.
I'm sure I have. I know I've seen a bunch of six-mans with these guys. It's probably one of the matches. There's a few matches I really am not excited to see. This is one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
I forgot you hate Kevin Owens.
No. Not at all. Kevin Owens has definitely grown on me over the last year, 2 or 3. But boy, Seth Rollins is just so whiny of a heel, and...
Isn't that a good thing?
It is good, but it just seems like this match, you have 2 former Universal Champions, and you just throw them into a match at WrestleMania. I don't think their talents are being used wisely, because this is a main event for Monday Night Raw, not a match at WrestleMania.
All right, let's go around the horn. Josh Chernoff, what do you say about this match?
I kind of agree in the sense I think that let's say Mania had been held in the stadium and everything, you would have been looking at this match as possibly a strong opener or kind of like a cool down match. I don't think that this was meant to be one of their top matches. So now you move it to the Performance Center and you make it a match inside that empty ring. I think this is going to be one of those. I'm sure. I mean, athletically, they're both fantastic. I just think that this is going to be one of those matches where you're like, okay, curious how this is going to continue the story moving on Raw, but I'm not really invested in it otherwise.
All right. Well, thank you, Josh. Andrew,
You're
what do you say?
Yeah, I remember the same type of lull when Orton took on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31. Everyone was like, I really don't care about this match, and they tore the house down. So I'm not caring about this match. I do care about it. I do agree with you, David Hero. It is a main event for Monday Night Raw. But I do think that these 2 performers will give you everything they've got, and I think it's going to be one to watch. Just like you saw, Kevin Owens' promo on Monday Night Raw was fantastic. That was one of the highlights of the show. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'm going to go with Seth Rollins on that one.
Marty Bell?
I think I feel like I'm just piggybacking off what everybody says, but I think
We'll start going to you first.
I think it is interesting. Not every single match has to, from the matchup, has to blow your mind away. I think that these are two guys that always perform very well. They have good chemistry together. So yeah, maybe it's not the match that you want to see, but it's not going to be a match that's going to disappoint you. You're still going to watch it, and you're still going to be like, I agree. Like Andrew said, I think that it's going to surprise people, and it's just going to be a good match. It's going to be a match that's enjoyable, and yeah, maybe it's not going to change the landscape and of WWE and going forward or anything like that. But I do think it's just going to be a good, solid match. And sometimes you have two people that maybe there's not even a story behind it, but the match is so good because you have two amazing wrestlers in there. I think that that's kind of what we're going to see, and I'm totally fine with that.
Thank you, Marty. And fans, as we said, we are live, and we are taking your comments as you see on the screen right there and on Twitter right now. Martin Duffin said this: I'm sure they will have a great match, speaking of Rollins and Kevin Owens, but I'll be getting snacks during this one. Now, Raw and Andrew, you both said this feels like a Raw main event. Is the oversaturation of a lot of repeat matches in these 3-hour broadcasts on Monday nights from WWE causing thoughts and comments just like this right here?
You know what it is? I think there's no consequences for this match. I mean, these are the two, probably they're the top 5 guys on Monday Night Raw behind Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre.
They having a burger?
They should have the winner of this match is now the #1 contender for the winner of Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. If you put something on it, now it's no longer the main event of Raw. There's a consequence to lose. Now there's a reason why they're truly fighting, besides the fact that they can't stand each other.
Well, the next match,
Yeah,
folks,
I agree.
is Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. I almost said the wrong thing there. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. We talked about this match a couple of nights ago when this was first announced. Yeah.
Where was the build for this one?
It is a match. 2 great performers. What say you, Hero?
I think this has potential to be a great match because both guys have the fighting background. Aleister Black is, he's a legit shoot fighter. You have Bobby Lashley, who's an MMA fighter. Both guys, 2 different styles, 2 different looks. If you're going to elevate Aleister Black, he definitely has to be Bobby Lashley. But can Bobby Lashley again take another loss, a big loss, and now at WrestleMania?
That's the question. Lashley and Aleister Black. We will first go to Marty Bell to get her thoughts on this matchup.
I'm a big fan of Bobby Lashley. I have been for a long time, both as an in-ring competitor and as a person. I do think, obviously, any chance you get to see your friends competing at WrestleMania, it's a very exciting time. I'm kind of just happy to be here kind of thing, watching them. Like you said, David, they have similar backgrounds in an aspect, but they're also still so different, just in the way they look, the way that they wrestle. I think it's going to be a very hard-hitting match. I hate using that, it's going to be a hard-hitting competitive match, but that really is, I think, the best way to describe what this match is going to be. Is this going to be the match to elevate Aleister? Could be. Is it going to be the match that, like you said, can Lashley take another loss, or is this the chance? I don't know. It's going to be, I think.
I don't think it's difficult for Lashley to take another loss.
I think regardless of who, I don't know. I don't think that there's going to be a loser here. Regardless of whoever wins, it's going to just, that match, I think, is going to be so good. It's going to be so hard hitting that I just think there's not going to be a loser when it comes here in the long run.
Could there be something we're not seeing here that we should be seeing here? Could we see involvement from a returning Lana in this matchup, and maybe that's why this whole match is happening? What do you say, Josh?
I don't know. I think about having Lana back there. I know she was out, and because of the virus and everything, they kind of wrapped her filming or put it on pause. So, yeah, I don't know. And I also don't know if that's really going to matter because, if this is WrestleMania should be the blow off, and if this is kind of going to kickstart something, so I don't know Lana playing a role in it or not, but I do think I had mentioned on one of the other nights on here that I felt Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn had the opportunity in an empty arena, to put on a catch as catch can clinic, I think that that's the same kind of mindset that these guys should go into this with, just saying, to use that term, hard hitting. I think that is a good term to describe it. I think they need to hit each other hard. They need to move
Is that
quickly.
what hard hitting
and
means?
I think that is. As a matter of fact, it's when you hit hard, that is what makes it hard hitting. So yeah, but no, I think that this could be a really good match like that. Or it could just be something where we go and, this is a great opportunity to go grab a snack.
Andrew, is it a snack match? Will Lana come back? What do you want to see with Lashley and Aleister Black?
I don't think this is a snack match. I would like to have this be determined who is the number one contender for Drew McIntyre's, WWE Universal Champ or whatever the WWE Championship now.
What do you mean Drew McIntyre's Universal Championship?
Well, or Brock Lesnar. I mean, we'll get to that match soon, I guess. I did.
Fair enough then.
So
it's not a spoiler.
I don't. First of all, I don't know any of the results. That's God honest. I won't ask for them because WrestleMania is my favorite event of the year, so that won't happen. But I just think that this match should have more meaning to it. Just like Dave touched on the Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. This is the match for me. I'd like to see who comes out of this with the upper hand and gets the title shot, because otherwise I'm not sure what there was no build really for this match. I love it, but there was no build, so add something to it.
They could add something to it. I would love to see Lana for the win. And we know, and we've seen the reports, that Rusev apparently, and we haven't seen Rusev in WWE for quite a while with his new shaved head, but apparently having some conflicts with contract negotiations with the company. Maybe those are resolved. Maybe Rusev Bull will be a part of WrestleMania as well, David.
I highly doubt that's going to happen, because they need a clear-cut winner in that match, and you have two guys that are going to fight.
It's going to be hard-hitting, I understand.
That's what Josh said.
No, that's what Marty said.
Everyone said that.
I don't think Andrew said that.
I did not.
Folks, if you're watching us on socials, you see your comments popping up on the screen there, and we appreciate the live interaction. And this week we've had record interaction from all of you, so we want to thank you for that. Always be notified when the Pro Wrestling Report goes live, and that is every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. Want to thank all of you who tuned in live last night to our Inside Story of Wrestling episode with Barry Darsow. A lot of tremendous feedback, and we do appreciate that feedback. Barry appreciated that feedback. Great conversation, but that continues next week. Another new episode of Inside Story of Wrestling. That, of course, comes to you Thursday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. It will be featuring the former WWE star Armando Estrada, David.
No, it's Alejandro Estrada.
I'll learn how to say it by next Thursday. That's fine. But also additional programming, because it's the biggest week in wrestling, right? So we're going to bring you more. We talked about the additional episode of Reaction that would be airing tonight. So we're going to be live again right after Smacky Wacky goes off the air on Fox. We will be live right here on Fight TV, along with our social media networks, taking your live comments and questions and reactions to WWE Smackdown, and as previously announced as well, on Saturday and Sunday, whenever WrestleMania goes off the air. Ooh, let's say that as long as it's before midnight.
Oh, God, yes.
As long as WrestleMania goes off before midnight, we will be live with you with a live reaction.
Well, midnight what time zone?
Midnight our time zone.
Central time.
Central time, yes.
It better be.
Yes, so we'll bring you live reactions after each of those broadcasts on Saturday and Sunday night, but wait, there's more. Tomorrow and Sunday, we are bringing you special editions of Prime Time. We'll be with you live at 1 o'clock p.m. and 4 o'clock p.m. Get my Centrals and my Easterns mixed up. 1 o'clock p.m., 4 o'clock p.m. Dave, myself, Andrew will be coming to you live with special editions of Prime Time, talking about a topic that became a bit controversial, David. It is, what is the best match in WrestleMania history?
It wasn't controversial because I know I was right.
And that was, of course, from Reaction this past Tuesday night, live. Thank you for those of you who have engaged and sent us your comments and your thoughts on the best WrestleMania match of all time. Well, we're going to be covering 4 of those qualifying matches over the course of 4 episodes of Primetime Special Edition on Saturday and Sunday. Again, that at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both Saturday and Sunday. 360-degree coverage of Wrestling Mania. We are pleased to bring it to you all weekend long.
Wrestling Mania.
Wrestling Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Al says it.
So it's going to be Hogan and Rock. Austin and Bret Hart.
Yep.
Hogan and Andre. And then Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, I believe, correct?
Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, because remember they went after it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So, and actually that story continued after that too, into the Triple H Taker series when Shawn Michaels got involved with all that. So we're going to be discussing all that. Much more coverage is the end story here. Much more coverage all weekend long. PWR will be all over Fight TV, which is airing WrestleMania. I can't make that point more clear that it is available in the United States and most countries around the world. WrestleMania on Fight TV. And speaking of WrestleMania, let's continue talking about the showcase of the Immortals. And the next matchup is a last man standing match. Edge comes out of semi-retirement after appearing at the Royal Rumble and will take on the Demoness, Randy Orton. Big story leading up to this matchup involving Beth Phoenix, involving a lot of personal shots, if you will, between these two competitors. Edge finally accepting Randy Orton, and Edge accepting the challenge to appear at WrestleMania. This is a big match with two big stars.
It's two guys that know exactly what they're doing. They know how to do it, and they know why they're doing it. Not what they're doing, but the why. And it's going to be a clinic on wrestling psychology. They are going to tell the story. You are going to want to hate Randy Orton. You're going to want to see Edge make the comeback of comebacks, the old Spirit of 76, as they say. And I would fully expect to see Beth Phoenix involved in this match somehow.
Oh, she's got to be, doesn't she?
And they're going to go all over the building, all over the place. You almost have to expect a Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, I love you, I'm sorry, for the finish. Because these two guys...
Who's going to love who?
I think Randy will tease it, but in the end, I expect Edge to go over and reclaim his glory.
This one, too, will probably be hard-hitting, so I'll say it before you all do. Great matchup between two tremendous Hall of Fame competitors, one who was prematurely inducted, in my opinion, that in Edge, and one who certainly will, in the future, be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, which, by the way, would have happened last night if this whole situation had not developed. But be that as it may, Josh Chernoff, Edge, Randy Orton, what do you say?
That sounds like a great triple threat. No, I think Edge versus Randy Orton is one that I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm a big fan of both of those guys. Again, this becomes kind of a thing where, if this had been regular Mania, I think this would have just been a great match. Now I'm kind of interested to see, okay, what are we doing? What are we going to do to make this unique? What are we going to do? I think Last Man Standing makes me feel as though they're going to be out of the ring. They're going to be all around the Performance Center, which is something I'd like to see. I mean, there's so many different rooms, so much. I'd like to see them go into the weight area or something, grab a dumbbell, use it. So I know it's not Falls Count Anywhere, but I feel like this match they're going to be working their way out of the ring. I think Edge is gonna pick up the victory in this. I don't know about Beth Phoenix only because of the virus. I'm not sure whether or not a decision was made to have her there, not have her there. But normally I would say, yeah, I could see her being a part of it for sure.
And Marty, what do you say?
Well, I was definitely one of those people that when he returned at the Rumble went nuts because, I grew up on loving Edge and Christian. I grew up such a big fan, and he was done. Like, we never thought we'd see him back in the ring. So to see him come back was so amazing. And I do think he's going to pick up the victory tomorrow or Sunday. And I don't know about Beth Phoenix being involved either. I'm not a big fan usually when families get involved into a situation, but it's definitely very different when it's Beth Phoenix because she's also a wrestler and it's somebody who also came back and literally split her head open in the Rumble, kept going, and she's such a badass that I believe that if she got in there and did something, I would definitely believe her hitting. And when you said going to the weight room, that was definitely one of my first ideas was thinking like, I definitely hope they're going to go all over the arena. And in this case, it might actually work better for them to be in such a small space because the PC is a big building, but it's not as big as you'd be in an arena. So there is so much more to play with like you said, going into the weight room, seeing them, break the mirror, seeing them. I just think that there's so much they can do with this match, and I'm usually a very, very big fan of last man standing matches because you have to get creative. You have to. It's not just I'm gonna hit my finisher 10 times and you're gonna tap, or you're gonna 1, 2, 3. You have to get creative, and I definitely think that having it in a smaller building is gonna make them be more creative. And I would love to see Beth get involved, hit a glam slam in there or something. I think it's definitely going to be one of the best matches of WrestleMania.
Well, Marty, thank you for that. And an interesting point you made in that analysis was you don't think families should get involved, but we've heard for such a long time in this business that the more personal you make it, the deeper the story. And I think there's a lot of evidence to that in the past. Expand a little bit on that. Why is it not a good idea from your standpoint?
From my perspective, sometimes it just feels so easy, oh, I don't know. Sometimes it just feels like it's the easy way to go with certain things. Like, I can't even think of a good example right now, but it's just hard to not feel like, oh, I'm talking about your son, so now you're.
It can be forced at times, yeah.
When it's another wrestler, I think. I don't know. It's also different to me because it's Beth. Beth is such a badass. Beth is so strong. And like I said, if Beth went in there and hit a glam slam, I wouldn't be like, oh, that was dumb. I'd probably be like, oh, hell yeah, she could definitely hold her own in there. So I don't know. I think I'm just excited because it's Beth Phoenix and I'm a big Beth Phoenix fan. So maybe that's why I'm a little biased.
Fair enough.
Well, I only mentioned Beth Phoenix because she has to get her heat back from taking the RKO. Right? She has to do something.
Historically speaking, yeah.
She has to do something.
Andrew, this is a last man standing match, right?
Yes.
I don't think we mentioned that. Yeah, last man standing, Edge versus Orton.
Yeah, this has had the best build of WrestleMania. I think it's got the most fan interest as well. I think this should main event one of the nights. I don't mind Beth getting involved at the end. I think the Edge-Orton feud should end here, and it should just be them one-on-one, but I would love to see Beth get maybe a glam slam at the end and her and Edge hug at the entrance ramp. I don't mind her involvement at all because they've already involved her. She took an RKO, so you might as well close that chapter as well. I hope this is leading to another set of matches for Edge, but I guess time will tell. But I'm going to go with Edge here, and this is the match I'm looking forward to.
Well, fans, such great discussion. Thank you all for your opinions. Thank you for interacting online as well. That's not the end, I know.
I was going to say, what are you doing?
We've got a few
no
more.
One said take it home
We've
yet.
got a few more WrestleMania matches to cover, but you know what? We're going to do that live tonight on Reaction after SmackDown, or maybe we'll do it tomorrow on PrimeTime or Reaction. But we're out of time. We've gone long. We're 3 minutes over. We still got Al Snow's waiting in the green room.
How did that happen?
How did that happen?
How did you go long?
We have a total of 4 tremendous wrestling minds on this program, and they have shared
and yourself.
And
right?
they've shared their opinions.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your analysis. And those 3 matches we still have yet to talk about for WrestleMania: Otis versus Dolph Ziggler, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles, and Elias versus King Corbin. We'll talk about those tonight, live on Reaction, right after SmackDown goes off the air, in all the same places you're watching this right here, right now. Well, coming up next after this very brief timeout, we're going to be joined by Al Snow, who's got huge news about OVW debuting tonight on national television. We've also got this week's hot news, tonight's hot news, tonight's superfans, and a preview of tonight's WWE Smackdown. So we're going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, we're going to try to get Al Snow in here live, and PrimeTime will continue. We'll see you in just a moment.
The wait is over. The wait is over. All Elite Wrestling is now available on AEW Plus.
What are we seeing?
This is your chance to watch AEW Dynamite, commercial-free and live every Wednesday night. Let's do this! Exclusively on the Fight Digital Sports television platform. AEW Plus is available in over 100 countries outside the US, Canada, Germany, and France. AEW Plus can be viewed on your smart TV, mobile device, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or at Fight.tv. You ain't seen nothing yet. Starting this month, AEW Plus will also feature every episode of AEW Dark. Download the Fight app now and join the revolution today.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling.
So I guess they're coming back. So just
Wait a minute.
be prepared
whoa,
for whatever.
wait. Yes, we are coming back, Andrew. You're right. We're live here on PrimeTime. PrimeTime Live. Davey and Nelson sitting alongside Dave Hero. It's Friday, April 3rd, 2020. And Dave, I didn't ask you this. If I did, I forgot because I didn't care when I asked you. How the hell are you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic.
That's a matter of opinion, which I don't share.
It's the truth. It's the DWHS truth.
Our truth is here?
Well, he's all over TikTok right now. Have you seen?
Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not. But I see.
You're not on TikTok?
Of course not.
Because of the government recommendation from the United States government that we should not use TikTok?
Well, yeah, because it's made in China. And what
Either
else
China
is
or
made
Russia?
in China?
What else is made in China?
Yeah.
Everything we need right now that we can't get our hands on.
90% of our prescriptions. Doomed.
Folks, we are live.
Well,
In
then.
addition to this one with the innuendo, we are joined by our associates all over the United States. Andrew Badala, Josh Chernoff, Marty Bell as well. See what I did there with the rhyming and stuff? You know, I'm a poet.
I like it.
And I actually did know it. But it is time for this week's hot... Oh, wait, no. It's time for Al Snow. Unfortunately, during the commercial break, we lost Al.
Well, he's busy getting ready for his big debut tonight. He says he'd have to get back to us.
And we're going to try to have Al join us on Reaction tonight, live after Smackdown on Fox, as we are live right now. Why are we doing all this programming? Who wins?
Well, the fans, of course. That's who we do it for. For the people. Isn't that what Bane said in the Batman movie?
Is this the People Show?
Of course
I
it
wasn't
is.
allowed to watch those Batman movies.
Huh. You missed out. It's good stuff.
I don't know if you guys noticed earlier, but we named a new match type, a new concept. It had previously been called the popcorn match, but now it's just the snack match. I think that's the PC way to say it, the snack match. Well, popcorn, you know, pretzels felt discriminated against.
Well, they did. Yes, so did the M&Ms.
What about the Juju Foods? Skittles?
No, Skittles maybe.
You a Snickers guy or a Butterfinger?
Oh, Snickers. Absolutely.
Snickers over Butterfinger?
It's way more satisfying.
Marty, Snickers or Butterfinger?
Snickers.
Snickers. Andrew, Snickers or Butterfinger?
Snickers.
Oh, this is a problem. Josh, save me. Snickers or Butterfinger?
Yeah. I'm a Snickers ice cream.
What
bar,
is
to
going
be honest.
on here?
First of all, here's the problem with Butterfinger. All that orange, yellowy.
We've heard enough from
stuff
one hero.
gets
Cal,
stuck in your
Cal, I have a
teeth.
question.
Right?
Exactly what it is.
Marty knows. Yeah,
It's
gets stuck
like
in your teeth.
razor blades.
Cal, are you
It's like
Snickers or
razor blades.
Butterfinger? See? That's why we've been grooming Cal to take your place in about
Cal's
13
kissed
minutes because
Hey,
he
by
has
all
good
means,
taste buds.
yes.
All of you are fired. Butterfinger
Real
is clearly
Sour Patch
better
Kids.
than Snickers.
Ooh.
Off topic. Well, it's not heat. You know, we got a lot of shows. We got a lot of time to fill. Even though we went over at our last segment, lost Al Snow during the commercial break. So let's just mess around. We're live,
talk about
folks.
Boneyard.
All over
David,
the
I
world.
have a
Thank you for
question.
joining us here on Fight TV. And what a tremendous partner Fight TV has been
They've been
in our
fantastic.
return to broadcasting. And you do know and realize you can watch Wrestling Mania on Fight TV, Wrestling Mania 36.1 and 36.2 on Saturday and Sunday. And that's exclusive, not exclusively, but it is also now available on Fight TV. And Medusa, Alundra Blaze, is going to be in the live chat on Fight TV, along with
fantastic.
WrestleMania during the broadcast on this weekend. So be sure to tune in.
And she
be a part
always
of that.
has really cool stuff to say.
She is a bit unfiltered and a bit
Well,
untethered.
I was being nice about it.
I
Yeah,
love
she's
her.
awesome.
I love her.
She's good people. Just
I have
don't
a
give her a
question.
belt in the trash can at the same time.
Okay.
But go ahead, Josh.
Damien? Yeah, no, I just had a question because I know Al Snow is busy with the show tonight and he's coming on later. But I was just thinking if anybody, I want to know how I can watch OVW tonight. So I was just wondering if that was something, since he's going to join us later, I feel like he was probably hoping to plug that. So I was just wondering
Josh, that's a great question, and I'm so glad we have you planted in the audience to ask such questions. Thank you for that. It is a great point. OVW Wrestling debuts live tonight on U2 America. That's
Yes.
the YTA network, and it is broadcasting in over 44 million homes. Have that network available to them, and it's going to be the premiere edition for OVW Wrestling on U2 America. And Dave, some familiar faces are going to be a part of that show as well.
It's OVW. They're going to be introducing all of their talents over the next couple weeks, bringing everybody up to speed as to what they're doing with their champions, their managers, their women's division, their heavyweights, all the stars of OVW. Go to ytatv.com for U2 America to see where you can get it. Otherwise, OVW Wrestling, wrestling.com for, well, I guess it's OVW, so you think OVW Wrestling, but no, it's ovwrestling.com for more information on that as well. But very excited for Al Snow. He is taking OVW to a place it has never done before. It's now national clearance. It's not just based in the Smoky Mountain area. And I expect a lot of good things coming out of OVW.
That was a great plug, but it wasn't the plug I was looking for. PWR Primetime Weekend Edition. Special insert of Primetime happens during the weekly OVW broadcasts as well. So that will be at 12 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Central tonight on YouTube America. And with that, let's go to this week's hot news. Let's see what's going on in the world. A lot is going on in the world, David Hero, and we'll get everybody's opinion on these items. But firstly, Triple H has been appearing on a lot of media outlets as of late. He appeared on ESPN after WrestleMania 32. Was that this past Sunday? It was this past Sunday. And he also appeared on Ariel Helwani's MMA show and gave us a glimpse into some of the details on the look and feel of WrestleMania 36. That, of course, begins tomorrow night on Fight TV and pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Triple H, of course, didn't give too many details on WrestleMania is going to look, but it sounds like the production is going to be a bit more elaborate, as we talked about earlier, than what we've been seeing in recent weeks on Raw and SmackDown. Triple H saying it looks spectacular and that the look and feel will be phenomenal. I would have used tremendous there, but phenomenal. I think the talent really stepped up to bring the energy and the excitement, knowing how important this was. There's a lot of things that will take place, both live and taped, that will be taking place from alternate locations. An interesting little tidbit there, a morsel at the end saying both live and taped that will take place from alternative locations.
Well, if you noticed on Monday, they had a different setup. They had light beams, I guess you could say, or light poles or light posts or other gimmicks around the ring that blocked out all the empty seats.
Yep.
And WrestleMania is going to be a studio show. And I know Marty is very familiar with that with NWA Power. Imagine having a WrestleMania.
But there are people there.
Well, right, but I'm saying, but it's still going to be a much smaller area.
Yeah.
It's going to be well lit. They're going to be able to hide certain things, and I think everyone is going to be pleasantly surprised with how the PC is going to look Saturday and Sunday night.
Well, earlier in this broadcast, we talked about doing some things differently with the Firefly Fun Fly House Mr. Rogers Neighborhood match.
Nailed it.
But there's more opportunities, obviously, right? And Triple H is telling us that we're going to see those opportunities. One of the big opportunities is something we talked about last week, courtesy of a fan. I believe the fan was the Variety vendor on YouTube who recommended this, and we didn't discuss it. The opportunity to have virtual fans in the arena, which this guy hates. But having some type of video production or screens or what have you that engage the fans with their audience. And Andrew, earlier you actually sent us something that one of the talents was experimenting with that seems like a very challenging idea to execute.
Yeah, as much as I love Charlotte Flair and how she wants to give back to the fans,
endorsed.
and she what?
She is endorsed.
Yes, she is a tremendous talent, and she wanted to go live on Zoom with a couple fans, I believe, for WrestleMania. I think it's a terrible idea, Charlotte. I just don't think that the fans will be fans. They'll probably try and take over your Zoom, and they'll probably troll you the whole time, and you probably need a moderator for that. There will be some good eggs, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of people who just do a lot of nasty things just to get over on people. So. No, I'm just saying, there'll be comments, or they'll say something. It's not a good idea. I know the WWE is going to do this, I believe, but I think that's going to be kind of tapered down, and I think they're going to be able to control most of it because it's taped. So
I think they would have vetted fans first. I don't see it being kind of a situation where, like when you're on Instagram Live and anybody can request to be in the video and you approve it. I feel like if they're gonna do something like that where there's the Zoom is involved, we've been doing that in my gym, so I kind of have a feel for it. I think that people are gonna be vetted. I feel like it's gonna be 10 fans that maybe interact often with the product. I know that there's like super fans that have like, they get some merchandise sent out to them to take really cool pictures with, kind of thing. I feel like if they're gonna do something like that, it's gonna be more or less people that have already been kind of pre-approved. I don't see it just being like, let's choose 100 people off the internet to bring into the conversation. Can things still get wild? 100%. But I do think it's going to be more of a controlled environment in that way, as you guys mentioned.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's when WWE does their WrestleMania broadcast. I think that's what's going to happen. Charlotte was kind of wanting to do her own thing during WrestleMania on a Zoom, and I just think that's you're asking for it with that one.
Yeah, I read a thing, and this is not speaking as a guy who does anything terrible on Zoom, but I did read a thing that people have been hacking into Zoom.
Yes, exactly.
Because there are a lot of, like, I know my children have school through using Zoom. People have been hacking into it. If you're going to hack into that, like, I could easily imagine somebody trying to hack into WrestleMania and succeeding and showing.
Well, you just gave them the idea if they weren't thinking about it before.
Well, there's an Instagram page that has like over 1 million followers.
It was all over the news that some guy hacked into some classroom and showed his Peter Nuttensack off. So it's crazy. A bunch of kids in a classroom.
Why?
There's an Instagram page with like over 1 million followers, and this guy goes into individual classes and just calls out people, and the professor's like, "Who are you?" So
well, that's kind of weird, but I guess harmless depending on what he's saying, but showing their
that's what he's showing.
Oh, he's showing. Oh, I thought he was calling out people.
Show and tell, right?
I didn't say his name was Peter Nuttensack.
I'm a little scared by that. I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, I didn't know that was going on, but that's scary.
So referring to the nasty things, I guess Andrew told us about earlier, that is indeed
I
happening.
love how Andrew knows about an Instagram page that shows all that stuff. Who knew?
Andrew, next story in hot news.
I knew nothing about the show and tell. I just knew about a guy going into classrooms calling people racist remarks and stuff like that, and the professor being like, "Who are you?" I haven't seen the show and tell that you described, but I'll look for it later.
We've been talking about ESPN and WWE, and as you know, they've been showing WWE programming. Has ESPN as of late? Well, we have an update on that story. Drew, take it away.
ESPN's senior director of programming spoke with Sports Illustrated's Justin Bassario about his relationship between ESPN and WWE. ESPN aired a significant amount of WWE content as of late due to the coronavirus-related schedule and changes in pro sports. It was noted that while the sports purists may balk at the idea of airing WWE on the world's premier sports channel, ESPN Senior Director of Programming says that WWE's presence has added excitement to the network during an uncertain stretch of time. He asked if there will ever be a time where WWE is aired, and he was asked about WrestleMania 37, and he said that we will see. He did not dismiss the idea, but said right now they're focused on airing WWE content to help them get through the short term, not the long term.
It's a Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid but who's bleeding?
Well, the networks are, because there's no content. And we've talked about this in the past. Hollywood is shut down.
There's us.
Well, there's us. But I'm just saying, on ESPN, I mean, they can't even do the marble races anymore.
The what races?
The marble races. They had marble races, like on a beach. Like somebody would like carve out a gimmick that goes into the ocean, and they drop marbles and roll down the hill.
He's right.
What time was that on?
Yeah.
No. It was. I think it was on
ESPN 12.
It was on the same Instagram page that Drew was talking about earlier.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was on ESPN. And those were probably different marbles.
I know the NHL Network was showing. They were showing simulation games.
Mm-hmm. I think NASCAR from their something like that too, aren't they?
Well, WWE, if their video game wasn't hot garbage this year, they would have been able to actually use it. No, I mean that's That's a factual statement.
I haven't played it. So
no opinion in that whatsoever.
I'll take your.
I haven't played it either, but have you seen? There's an episode of So Says Chernoff where we talk about the glitches in the game. I encourage you all to check that out.
I did see that. Weren't they offering refunds and stuff like that because the game was so bad?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
This has the opportunity and the challenge to get real sideways real fast. So how about I advance us to the next story? And that is AEW, which is rumored to have taped several weeks, if not months, worth of television earlier this week at an undisclosed location in Georgia, I believe called Parts Unknown, right outside of Gwinnett. Well, they got a visit earlier this week from the authorities who said, hey, what y'all be doing in here?
Whoops.
And they were almost shut down, but they had the appropriate paperwork to show that they could indeed be there and doing their tapings. AEW allegedly rumored to have a lot of content in the can. Good on their part. Puts them one step ahead, though, of WWE, who we know has taped through, I believe, Monday's Raw, but I'm not sure they've done anything beyond that.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they could have gotten more content, but they had, that little show this weekend they had to take care of first.
Yeah.
So, of course, that killed at least 2.5, maybe 3 days worth. But, when we talked about WWE, they need some downtime right now because as great as everyone says...
Wait a minute. You want the offseason now?
No, I'm not saying that, but it's the best option. I mean, imagine the crowd reaction when Matt Hardy would have debuted in AEW for the first time. How loud the deletes would have been. Or when Brody Lee shows up as Vince McMahon, how loud all the Hey Pals would have been. And so we missed all of that. And the live audience transcends, it teaches us who we should cheer for and boo for. And WWE has been known when they want to get somebody over in a certain way, they save that debut for a certain city, whether it be the East Coast or Chicago or whatnot. And right now, that you run the risk of not having a live audience there to help influence the TV audience which way to go. And I think that eventually that's going to wind up hurting the business.
Okay.
I can speak from the perspective of somebody in the ring. Something I had this conversation recently, and before I debuted with TNA, I had dark matches, and the dark matches were held before the show even started. So they were literally just in front of the locker room, which was very, very scary because there's one point where I remember I was doing something and I look up and I lock eyes with Kurt Angle, who's sitting in the crowd clapping, trying to get things going, but you literally have 10 people in the audience, and that's hard. Now imagine having nobody but the camera people in the audience. It's very, very difficult. And I think like you were saying, the toughest thing is not knowing if something is working. When you're in the ring and you're telling a story and the crowd is booing or they're cheering or they're sitting on their hands, you can change things up. Be like, okay, this isn't working, let's do something else. But when there's no reaction whatsoever, you don't know how it's going to translate on television later on. So you're kind of just hoping that the ideas are great enough, that the characters are great enough, and that each wrestler can pull it off. I definitely think that this is going to change. Good on AEW for being able to jump on that and getting some content in. I just hope that it's interesting enough for people at home to be like, oh, I'm into this, I'm invested. Yes, when Matt Hardy debuting in front of a crowd would have been completely mind-blowing. They did a great job because it's Matt Hardy, but how much bigger could it have been in front of an audience? And that's just something that we're just going to have to wonder for the rest of our lives.
Fair point, folks. And, a lot of good discussion here tonight, David Hero. And we have, again, gone over on time. We still have 4 more hot news stories. And guess what? It's great that we're going to be live again tonight, right after WWE Smackdown on Fox. We'll be live tomorrow. 2 brand new episodes of PrimeTime, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Reaction after WrestleMania, as long as WrestleMania ends before midnight. And we'll do the same thing on Sunday. But tonight, WWE Smackdown is indeed on Fox, and we're going to see 2 big things occur on the show. At least that's what WWE has told us so far. Firstly, John Cena will be confronting Bray Wyatt in their final showdown before their showdown at the Showcase of the Immortals at WrestleMania. David, what might we see from these 2 tonight? What do we need to see from these 2 tonight on SmackDown?
You got to believe that the Fiend might be leaving John Cena laying out tonight. because you have to show John Cena in peril. You have to show that he's human. And what better way than to have people invested for the kids to see John Cena laid out going into WrestleMania.
Did you see Miz and Morrison's production of Hey Hey?
I did. That was fantastic.
You like? That's the kind of music?
No, it was fantastic.
You're genuinely smiling. You liked it.
Because it was funny, it was creative, it was snarky, it was smarty. It was everything that you would expect out of Miz and Morrison.
Well, tonight, the New Day and the Usos will be the guests on Miz TV. That there is going to be explosive, David Hero.
Oh, it's going to be great because especially once they air the lyrics of Miz and Morrison bashing
like pop-up
the
video?
Usos. Yeah, I mean,
Or what was that with the karaoke?
what they did was good business.
And I said last week or Wednesday or whenever, I'm just going to stop trying to reference time because I'm just horrible at it.
Every day right now is the same day. We're in Groundhog Day.
Bill
Yep.
Murray?
Bill Murray.
Not Withers.
There is no concept of time right now.
Yes,
None.
indeed, it very
None
is,
at
folks.
all.
We're going to go around the horn one last time here tonight. Tonight, SmackDown. Let's focus on Miz TV with the Usos and the New Day as their guest. As we know, they go into a big three-way championship tag team matchup at WrestleMania this weekend. Joshua, what do you want to see tonight on SmackDown from these peeps?
Kind of just in general, like what I had said for Raw, is I just want them to show me what type of a entertainment product they can put on so that I am invested and excited in watching WrestleMania. I want them to do something that's going to make me at the end of SmackDown tonight go, wow, man, that was really good. Okay, I think Mania is going to be pretty good. So I don't really care what it is or who it is. I just want something where I walk away and say, hey, this was really well done and something to get me excited for Mania.
And Josh, you can follow Josh at So Says Chernoff on Twitter. Andrew, the Miz TV, Miz endorsed, and I know that may skew your opinion, even though you like Snickers.
No, I like The Miz. I've liked him since WrestleMania 27. But regardless of that, this is a segment what I look forward to every week when they do it. I thought the New Day and I thought Miz and Morrison last week when they imitated everybody was fantastic. I hope they do something again with them live in the crowd, or not live in the crowd, but the New Day and the Usos being right there. I know there is no crowd, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's gonna, like Josh said, sell me something on this match. Doesn't need much, but I'm looking forward to their segment.
You can follow Andrew on Twitter at TicketTrue. And Andrew is going to be with us on our special Prime Times this weekend as well, looking at the best match in WrestleMania history from all of our different perspectives. And finally, Marty Bell, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. I think you're our new Friday night delight here on Primetime Live.
I like the sound of that. That sounds fun. But relating to your question, I think that there's so much personality in that ring. When you have all of those guys in there together, it's going to be interesting to see kind of who can almost one-up each other to make you interested in their match. Like, I really feel like they're all likable in their own way, so it's hard for me to choose, like, who do I want to root for. So it's probably going to be the person that just makes me laugh the most with that segment. And
you can follow Marty on Twitter. That's at Marty Bell, MartiBeLle. You ever do that, Marty? That's MartiBeLle.
Better trademark that quick.
I'm going to add that to my list. I like that.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you again soon. The show does continue, though, David Hero. We've got to identify tonight's super fans, those who engaged with us most substantially during our live broadcast on Wednesday night. And we always appreciate all the comments coming in across all of our social media channels, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we are pleased to be now on Twitch. But all of that is trumped by Fight TV. And Fight TV, of course, you can watch WrestleMania. Some more exclusive opportunities coming to this broadcast to you with our partnership with Fight TV in the next few weeks. We'll continue to keep you informed on that. And with less than 1 minute remaining, 2 of you win the prize from this past Wednesday night for being the most socially engaging. And firstly, on YouTube, congratulations to YouTube user Gruss512. That's Gruss 512. If you're watching now, you win. Along with on Facebook,
Rick didn't die.
Bill D. Streeter. Bill D. Streeter. Am I saying something there I don't want to say?
Nope.
Okay. You are the winner on Facebook this week. And David, what do they win?
They win the Collar and Elbow PWR OVW gift pack. All you got to do is email your name and address to superfan@pwr360.com. Superfan@pwr360.com.
You did good there, David. It's
yeah.
almost like you had a teleprompter
I'm cutting down to
scrolling
it.
in front of you or something. I want to remind everybody that we will be live with you again tonight after Smackdown, which starts in 10 seconds. We will be live with you once that show goes off the air. Thank you for joining us here live on Fight TV and across our social media channels for that one. This is Damian Nelson saying thank you to the associates and the fans and the viewers all over the world for joining us here tonight on PWR Primetime Live. We'll see you after Smackdown.